Hi and welcome. I'm very excited to bring you this new series that I'm about to start, reviewing one of my favorite TV shows, The Big Bang Theory. We are going to start with season 1, episode 1, and here we go. So this is season 1, episode 1, the pilot show of The Big Bang Theory, and it starts off with Leonard and Sheldon going to a high IQ sperm bank. Their plan is to make a donation and be paid in order to pay for better internet quality in their apartment. I often wonder in this part if Sheldon later in the show would even consider this. It's a little bit, his character does change and become a little more strict, but he often is willing to do things for, his to support his habits and his hobbies. So it's possible. The next thing we see after they decide not to do it, they bail out, they go home, and they meet their new neighbor, who is Penny. Leonard is immediately infatuated with Penny. So after this, Leonard and Sheldon go home. Leonard decides to return and invite Penny over for lunch. She accepts, and they go back to their apartment. She's a little impressed with Sheldon's work. Leonard's a little jealous, shows wants to show his as well. And then they decide to sit down for lunch. So this is where we get to a very important point in the show. It's the introduction of Sheldon's spot. Penny sits on the couch in Sheldon's seat, and Sheldon launches into an explanation of why that's his spot, why he likes to sit there and he doesn't want to sit anywhere else. Leonard encourages him to try to find another spot to sit. Sheldon doesn't want to, but reluctantly does. But as soon as Penny does move, Sheldon jumps into his seat. This is a recurring theme throughout the show, and it is a constant. Sheldon, that spot on the couch is his, and he does not want to share it with anyone. We also get a little background on Penny here. She goes into her background telling us that she's from Nebraska. She moved to LA to become an actress, but she's currently working at the Cheesecake Factory. She gets upset, expressing the fact that she had a boyfriend and they've broken up and she's unhappy about it. She says she's moved in this new apartment. Her shower's not working, so Leonard offers the use of their shower. Penny accepts. It's at this point that we're introduced to the final two main cast members of the show, and that's Raj and Howard, who come in to show Leonard and Sheldon a video they have of Stephen Hawking. They tell him it's not a good time. They have company over, and then Penny emerges from the bathroom in a towel. So here's where we establish Howard. He has a bit of a flirtatious person. He goes up to Penny, and he wants to speak to her, and also tries to show off his ability to speak multiple languages. Um, Leonard goes in the bathroom to help Penny set up the shower, and then she decides to ask him for a favor, which he decides to accept. That favor ends up being to go and get her TV from her ex-boyfriend. So Leonard and Sheldon go to off on this mission, leaving Raj and Howard back at the apartment with Penny. This is also an important scene because we establish Raj's inability to speak to women. So Leonard and Sheldon arrive at Penny's ex-boyfriend's apartment building, and after speaking to him on the intercom, he denies them access. They note that their IQ is combined 360. They should be able to find a way into the building, but end up following in some Girl Scouts who figure out how to get in about 10 seconds. When they confront Penny's boyfriend, he basically refuses to give them a TV, steals their pants, and sends them on their way. They arrive back at the apartment. Penny's apologetic and says to make up for it, she's going to buy them dinner. And that's the main part of our episode. We then see all the characters in the car heading out to dinner. They decide to go to a sushi karaoke bar, and Howard begins to sing. And there's a funny moment here where Penny starts like laughing, and I actually find myself wondering if the laughter was in character or if um, it was legitimate laughter that Kaylee Kuoko was having trouble keeping a straight face listening to Howard sing in this part. So this is the end of the pilot episode, and it does what a pilot episode is meant to do. It gives us a great introduction to the show and all of the main cast members. We learn a good amount as we go along. We get an introduction to Leonard, Sheldon, Penny, Howard, and Raj. We learn a little bit about each character, but not too much as we're going to see how things develop. So, some key takeaways from this episode. We learn that Leonard is looking to pursue Penny. We get some background for Penny. We learn that Sheldon's just kind of indifferent to it all, kind of in his own world. We also, I mean, we met Raj and Howard. We don't get too much background on them, but like we said, we do establish some definite traits for them. We establish Raj as a nervous type. He's unable to talk to women when they're in front of him. We learn that Howard is very outgoing, although a little bit creepy in his attempts. And, it's a good way to start the show. And I very much have enjoyed making this video, and I'm looking forward to doing episode 2 next. So, to conclude, I would just like to say thank you for joining me, and we are going to go through each and every episode of The Big Bang Theory, and there is a lot. The show ran from 2007 until 2019 and had a total of 280 episodes. So, there is a lot to go through and discuss here, and I look forward to doing that. So, to give some figures for the show, on Rotten Tomatoes, the show gets an overall 81% fresh rating, 82% fan score. The fan score is always more important to me because that's the people that are actually watching and enjoying it. Season 1 actually got a little bit of a lower score, 59% from critics, but it did get 83% there also from the fans who watched it. Again, that's to me is the much more important score. IMDb gives the show an overall 8.2 out of 10 score. So as we go through this, I want to give each episode a rating of my own, and I just like the 1 through 10 scale. And so for episode 1 here, I would give it a 8 out of 10. I think it does a good job of getting the show started, getting things established. There are a few things that could always be a little bit better, but I think this was a great start to what I think is a great show. I hope you've enjoyed my review here of The Big Bang Theory, Season 1, Episode 1, the show's pilot episode, and I hope you'll come back and watch Episode 2 coming soon. If you liked the video, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share this with anybody else. Thank you.